is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
And we're back here with another episode of The Breakdown on Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Matt Hamilton. That's Chase Daniel. And Chase, we finally saw the Chiefs offense come to life. Mahomes have one of his big performances that we've become so used to seeing over the years. What do you think was the biggest difference maker this past week against the Chargers?
I think they started fast, and I thought that they just attacked zone coverage. I thought Brandon Staley's plan going into the game didn't work out, right? Because the plan was to play zone coverage against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are like the best team in the past 6 years against zone coverage. They're just going to sit back there, especially if you can't get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and just tear you apart. And that's exactly what they did. Over 350 yards passing at the half. And I thought for an instant here, Hammer, that we were going to see history made, and that he was going to break the record for a single game. I think it's 564 for passing. And then they just sort of faltered in the second half, and they went more man coverage against them. And that sort of seemed to be the answer. They separated at the end. But yeah, you just saw this. It was a close game back and forth. The Chargers honestly had a really good half on offense too. And no one really expected it to be back and forth. The two turnovers by KC loomed big. And then also just finally getting on the same page with their receivers, right? Like Mecole Hardman. A lot of people don't realize, like, he made a big impact, not only with the punt return, but the game winning, game sealing, whatever you want to call it, third down on a shallow cross, and just it seems to be coming together for them at the right time. When all these other teams like the Bills and the Bengals, we still know about them, are starting to go down, the Chiefs are starting to go up, and they got to contend with the Ravens now, because I thought Lamar Jackson also had a hell of a game on Sunday against the Lions. But I was just really impressed with how well they were able to come out early throwing the football against these Chargers.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great to see Mecole Hardman back and having that kind of an impact right out of the gates. We talked about it. He looks like he was turning a corner last year before those injuries set in. Really happy for him that he gets another chance to show what he can do. And we also have to talk about, you mentioned it was back and forth in that first half. Chargers at 17 points at halftime.
Yeah.
And then that defense for the Chiefs came to life. What did you see that was different in the second half? Because they completely shut them down in that second half.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of error in the coverage for the Chiefs in the first half, and that's something that we really hadn't seen about them. And I know the Chiefs are giving up like 15 points a game right now, and for the Chargers to have 17 in the first half, everyone's like, okay. Like, in my opinion, when I broke this game down on Friday before the Sunday game for NFL Network, and I've said this to a lot of people, is like, man, like the key to victory for the Chargers is keep it low scoring. Keep it low scoring. And then all of a sudden you get into a shootout in the first half, and my analysis is out the window. I'm like, no, that is not how you want to win a game with the Chiefs, because that offense, look, they were struggling a little bit, but the defense has been consistent all year long. And then obviously the injury that looms big, right? Nick Bolton, the heart and soul of that defense, a tackle machine. That's going to be something to look forward to. But I love how Drew Tranquil came in, played well, got the game-sealing sack against his former team. Had to feel really good for him.
Yeah, and how big does that pickup look now? Kind of overlooked in the offseason, the Chiefs going and adding a depth piece like that, but he's going to play an important role here for KC going forward.
Yeah.
Let's start digging into some of the film now. Take a look at why it was working so well for KC and what they can build on going forward. So let's start with this first one. What did you see here, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, this is just classic Patrick Mahomes, right? All they're doing is run a little hook route up top. And then, honestly, 24, Sky Moore is supposed to have a corner route, but he gets the spacing down here when we run this. Okay, it's just a curl and a corner on top. It's made for quarters. Okay, they're not in quarters, obviously. There's some type of single high zone match defense, maybe some man covers, depending on how it plays out right here. And they're going to carry everything. Looks like they're in zone right here. But the spacing is not great, okay? And you look at Patrick Mahomes, he sees it. In my opinion, just throw it. Throw it to MVS right now. Just like be done with it. And boy, are Chiefs fans glad he didn't, because he does that Patrick Mahomes voodoo type stuff. There's no one in the pocket at all, as you can tell. Like, if you give this guy time to throw, he is going to hurt you. And he's not only going to hurt you with his arms, he's going to hurt you with his legs. And not by running the ball, but by doing that wizardry type stuff that he loves to do so often. And everyone's on the same page. When he scrambles, his teammates love it. And the fact that MVS just decided, hey, I'm going to go to the open grass right here, end up catching a touchdown on a broken play. When I saw this play happen live, I'm like, okay, they got him. Let's stop him. And all of a sudden, once again, he's a wizard. He just finds a way to get open. A little play action fake here. I like this action. Okay. And at the end of the day, he's looking to throw the curl to the left, but he just scrambles out to the right and throws a dot to number 11 MVS right there.
Yeah, and this is where I love us having this access to the coaching tape, because you can really appreciate the throw that much more, seeing what he was seeing and what he's looking at here, and the way he's able to anticipate this on the move, throw into that green grass, perfect ball, and let MVS go to work. It was a thing of beauty, and again, it's Mahomes being Mahomes, like he said. But yeah, as we move forward here, obviously that play didn't go according to plan, but we did see plenty of plays executed the way they were designed, and this is one of them. What stood out to you here?
Well, 13 personnel, so you get base defense on the field for Chargers, where most teams would play base. It looks like they're actually playing nickel here, which is wild, and spreads didn't run the ball right here. All you're going to get, we've talked about a lot on this channel before, is you're going to get a post down here. It should be an outside release go versus press on Michael Vato, but you're going to get a little switch release by these two tight ends, and when we run it, we're going to see that, hey, it's almost using the inside tight end as a pick, and then we're running Kelsey on this over route, this deep cross route. And they end up having their best cover corner and Asante Samuel on them. And this pick just enough helps Travis Kelce get open. And make no doubt about it, it is a pick. You want to be able to rub that guy. And they get the perfect coverage for it, man coverage. Not a lot of teams play man coverage to 13 personnel. And then Travis Kelce, like Tucker said earlier, looking like 34-year-old, man. He doesn't try to juke or anything like that. He tries to run this guy over. But look at this pinpoint accurate throw. Like, if the throw is 2 inches behind him or 2 inches in front of him, I'm telling you, like, this is not a 55-yard, 60-yard game. It just is what it is. So once again, look at the pocket, look at the green grass. They're getting no pressure on Mahomes. He's able to get it to Kelsey with a pinpoint accurate throw.
And I feel like this is something that we saw a lot last year and haven't seen as much this year, is the big plays out of 13 personnel. And I'm glad to see them getting back to it. It was their bread and butter last year. Because all those tight ends create such mismatches for a defense. And if you want to go, with a lighter personnel grouping, like you said, you can run the ball and take advantage of them there. So I wonder if this is a trend we're going to start to see the Chiefs get back to.
Yeah, this is a concept that I hadn't seen a lot, actually, of them running out of 13 personnel. What it usually is you have the three tight ends. You have one go on a shallow, you have one on a basic, and you have Travis Kelce in a post. They used to run that all the time in the red zone. We have a lot of touchdowns at my time there even, and they continue to run that. So it's good to see them branch out, add more concept out of this 13 personnel grouping.
But even with all the success that we saw, and I don't want to downplay that at all, as you mentioned, we did see things slow down a little bit in the second half. We saw a few miscommunications, so there's still some things to get cleaned up, and I wanted to dig into one play here with Rashee Rice. Third down in the fourth quarter. What jumped out at you on this play?
Well, I actually love the route concept. And once again, the Chiefs decided, hey, we're not going to play. It's fourth quarter, 12 minutes left, 3rd and 3. We're not going to play zone. We're going to come up and play man coverage, which I think that they've had success with in the past. And all it is here is you're going to take the two outside receivers to the trick formation. You're going to run them on 5-yard in routes. The inside receiver has to get a good release, and then he's going to have a corner route. Okay, you're bringing Travis Kelce something on the back end. But they're going to end up playing no deep, but it's not a pressure look. They're going to come and rob that. You're going to see both safeties drop down and rob the middle of the field. So the Chiefs have the absolute perfect play call on, and this corner route builds leverage right here with Vato covering them. Okay, and you see these two angles on the screen. Look, Patrick Mahomes is going to end up throwing this high. Okay, in my opinion, on this play right here, Patrick Mahomes is right. The receiver needs to get on the right page, because you don't want Michael Vato or the guy covering this receiver to undercut it. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes throws it high. This is what was a little bit worrisome coming into the game. What they had shown, the Chiefs had shown the first 5 or 6 games of the year, was like the trust in the receivers. And look, they're getting on the same page, but all the receivers, they're 20th or worse in almost every major receiving category. So it was Travis Kelce that was carrying him. But like you said, we showed this the play earlier in MVS. I thought Rashee Rice played another great game. And I thought these guys are just coming along. And I thought that for the most part, they played their most put together game as a receiver group they have all year long.
I totally agree. And again, this is something, you got a rookie receiver there. This is teaching tape. This is a learning experience for him. And we've seen Rice get stronger and stronger every game. So I would expect him to learn from this, and next time he's in this situation, I guarantee he's taking that higher angle next time. But we have another, it's one of these weird scheduling quirks this week. We just saw the Chiefs play the Broncos. They get them again this week. And that game didn't go exactly how we expected it to go. The Broncos defense really played them well and had another strong game last week against the Packers. What's the biggest difference you see in Denver over these last couple of weeks?
I just think they're what they're doing and what they were doing early in the year. They had all this stuff in defensively, all these schemes, all these personnel. They've really just honed in on a few personnel groupings on defense and a few coverages. They're not trying to do too much. They're sort of said, hey, let's hit the reset button, pull back, scale back on what we're doing. And I think it was truly a catalyst for Denver with this Chiefs game. And they go in, they make Jordan Love look like a rookie. I don't think he played very well, but I look at the game and there's just nothing open. So the Chiefs obviously can't take this one lightly. Everyone knows that the Chiefs have owned the Broncos, right? When you go on the road, could be a little chilly. I know Patrick Mahomes loves playing it at Mile High, but at the end of the day, I think this defense is playing a lot better. Now, the thing about it is like it's going to be one of these ugly games again. Like it's going to be a 20-10 game, I think. And the reason I say that is because, look, I know Andy Reid will have some tricks up his sleeve, but Denver, at the end of the day, they're going to get it figured out offensively. Because right now, you cannot rely on your defense that much to just win you games. It's not going to do it. You gotta show me something offensively. And with the Chiefs defense playing the way they are, obviously the big storyline for them is no Nick Bolton. Who steps in? Is it Drew Tranquil? Is it who steps up? But once again, all these division games, and as you've seen the last 2 weeks, the parity in the league is an all-time high. I think anyone can beat anyone on any given day. I still pull for the Chiefs. I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against KC in this one, but what have you seen out of this Broncos offense? We dig into it just a little bit. We saw, to me, they're obviously against the Chiefs. They got nothing going last time, but in the Packers game, they were moving the ball a little bit, but they kept stalling in the red zone. Kicked 4 field goals in that game.
Yeah.
When you look at it, having played in Sean Payton's offense, what needs to change or what's not working?
Well, you hit it right on. It's red zone efficiency, and that's the number one thing. Like when you get down there, even if you're having these long drives or these short drives of big plays, if you get into the red zone, everyone knows the field shrinks. The windows get tighter. Everything happens faster. And so what I'm seeing right now is just not on the same page. Okay, they got some cool plays and cool guys built up, but they're just not able to finish these plays with touchdowns. And that's a big difference. If you can get 4 more points every time you get into the red zone rather than just settling for a field goal, it's going to add up. And you have to score touchdowns against the Chiefs to win this game.
Absolutely. And we'll see. I agree with that. I think it's going to be interesting, kind of like this past one was. I don't think it's just going to be a walk in the park for KC with how Denver's defense has been looking. So really interested to check this one out. Chase, thank you again for everything. Love sitting down and going through this tape with you. And we'll be right back here next week to do it again for you. Break down this Broncos game. Keep things rolling as we approach the trade deadline now. We might have some new players to talk about.
Love that. All right, guys. Thank you.